There are a lot of good billionaires out there that have been with Democrats who share our values, and we will take their money, but we're not taking money from those bad billionaires.
That was Ken Martin, who's one of the candidates to chair the Democratic National Committee. And he says that billionaires are very bad unless they're bribing us. Okay, the Democrats. So this is during the Politico Forum, and during the Politico Forum, candidates for the DNC chair reacted to now former President Joe Biden's farewell address, warning about an oligarchy forming in the US. Take a look.
I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous concentration, and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. The dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. People should be able to make as much as they can, but play by the same rules, pay their fair share of taxes. So much is at stake.
Is it? That honestly, I covered that video last week, and I'm actually more angry about it today. Oh, is there an oligarchy forming in the United States? Wasn't a problem when you were benefiting from it, but on your way out, you're gonna condemn it, right? Anyway, so Democrats have taken more money from billionaires in this past election cycle than the GOP has, and that's why it's frustrating hearing Biden talk about this now or talk about it on his way out when it's been an issue impacting both political parties for some time now. Harris backed by 8.4 times more dark money than Trump. Super PACs supporting Harris have raised at least $195.8 million from dark money groups this election cycle, while those backing Trump have raised at least $23.2 million, according to a sludge analysis of Federal Election Commission data.
I mean, that may be a small portion of the total money. I'm assuming it's wrong on both sides.
It's dark money, it's the dark money.
Sure, dark money organizations, I guess. If we're talking about billionaire influence, obviously, I mean, they counted like $20 billion for Trump right there. I mean,
Trump has billionaires.
Elon Musk put more than 10 times that himself individually. There are other billionaires that did, and I'm sure Harris also got a lot more than is in those numbers.
Yeah, but John, both parties are corrupt as F, okay? Like they're super corrupt, both of them, okay? So Democrats have no leg to stand on this issue, and yes, Republicans are corrupt, they've been corrupt, it's a huge issue. I mean, Donald Trump is surrounded by billionaire tech bros who he's now siding with on policies that he previously was not in favor of.
Yeah.
So that's a problem, it's a huge problem. But anyway, in regard to money in politics overall, not just dark money, Democrats massively outraised Republicans as well. We've talked about that multiple times on the show. The Democrats, their allied super PACs and other groups raised about $2.9 billion versus about $1.8 billion for the Republicans. And looking specifically at billionaires, Forbes noted that 83 billionaires, 2 of which are centrobillionaires who are worth more than $100 billion backed Harris during the 2024 election, compared to the 53 who endorsed Donald Trump. Okay, so that's kind of that's like the field, who's supporting who. You know, when it comes to the dark money donors that jump out on this list, you have, interesting, Rick Caruso, a former Republican, actually contributed heavily to the Harris campaign. So did George Soros, Reid Hoffman, who we talked about. And so it's an issue on both sides. Now, even if these billionaires are considered good, which like what does that mean, right? Like, so you have this.
Yeah, which ones are good and which are bad?
The ones, like that's the whole thing. If you're funding the Democrats, you're considered a good billionaire, according to Ken Martin. Again, a contender to lead the DNC. And Jacobin pointed out that 2 of Harris's biggest donors, Bill Gates and Airbnb founder Joe Gebbia, recently turned on the Democratic Party and are now very much in favor of Donald Trump. So Bill Gates stated after a visit to Mar-a-Lago, I felt like Trump was, energized and looking forward to helping to drive innovation. I was frankly impressed with how well he showed a lot of interest in the issues I brought up. These people don't have any values. These people want cookies from the politicians in power. There's a Republican in power, they will kiss the ring because they want the cookies.
100%.
That's all this is. It's gross.
Yeah, that was funny. It's also deeply embarrassing for Bill Gates. In particular, Bill Gates is a guy who I'm sure he thinks of himself as a good billionaire or whatever. He's done some good things around the world or whatever. I don't personally think a good billionaire is even possible. I think they're, at best case scenario, lesser evil billionaires. But I also love the way he talked about Trump there. Was like he met with an unruly kid and he was like, he was energized this time and he showed interest in what I was talking about. Like that's how he talked about the most powerful person in the world.
Yeah, if you're kissing his ass because you want favorable policies from the Trump administration, he's gonna listen. He likes to have his ass kissed.
Yeah,
like he's a ham. Like the one thing I'll say about Trump, I have a lot of things to say about Trump, but he's the biggest ham of all time. Like he wants, no, but it is true. Like he wants people to adore him. He craves it, he wants it. So if you're being complimentary to him, of course he's gonna be engaged. You're complimenting him.
Yeah.
But look, I see the whole good versus bad billionaire thing as bad framing because it's not about their morality, okay? It's about appealing to power to get, favors in return. So yeah, Democrats, the billionaires are gonna suck up to you if you guys are in power. That doesn't mean they're good, it doesn't mean they're bad, it means they're looking out for their best interests. So I just think it's ridiculous to hear this from Ken Martin. What do you think about this whole DNC leadership fight?
I honestly, I've been too caught up in all the other insanity that's going on to really follow it too much. So I can't necessarily say who I would go for at this point. I can name at least one person who I don't want in charge based on this segment. But yeah, we'll see. I'm worried. I mean, look, we were hoping coming out of the election that the Democrats would show at least some sign of learning literally anything. And they kept all their same leadership in Congress. Nothing bad had happened, no mistakes, keep them all. Like that shows they didn't want to learn a lesson. They're immediately talking about Harris running again next time. It's like, I guess that could be slightly different.
Oh my God.
If they go with the same sort of DNC person, it is going to be deeply upsetting. But we also know that they're going to.
Are they really considering Kamala again?
No, I mean, it's so far out that who the hell knows. But there were some people saying, and look, when you poll people, she's one of the top Democrats, but that's because people know who she is.
Name recognition.
People know. And a lot of people liked her, admittedly. A lot of people liked her and were enthusiastic and they feel, I think, not enough, clearly, but I think a lot of Democrats still feel burned. We'll see what they think about her in 2 or 3 years.
All right.
Of course, by then maybe she'll be California governor, I don't know.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, hit the join button below.